he has a rough idea. I mean, it's obviously a lot of variance in the length of a best of 5, but just so he has a rough idea as to what is going on here. Guys, the bottom right is going to be our blue Terran player. It is from Africa, aLive. And to the bottom left-hand side, our yellow Zerg from True Esports. It's Elazer. Again, I do urge you guys, if you are enjoying the stream today, enjoying the content and the event in general, make sure you do head on over to the Match Arena page. We don't have any coupon codes left over. You guys used up all of the coupon codes for the Match Arena. But if you do just want to support this event, then, even if you can only add $1, $2, if you want to get your message up onto the donation board, then head on over there, and every $2 helps, and it goes towards the players. All of it goes towards the players. I don't take any cut from anything you put into the Match Arena. It goes to the players who place top 3 in this event. So it's a great way to support the players and support the event. And of course, if you are enjoying, make sure you hit the follow button so you can see when we're live with the Wardi Open on other days as well. Today is Group A. Tomorrow, Group B. Going to be fantastic. In fact, I think Group B is my favourite group of them all. Hearthstone, Snoot, Keen, and Fear. That is just a fantastic group, right? Hearthstone, Fear, first match. Snoot, Keen, the second. That's going to be fantastic. Don't miss it. 2 PM CEST tomorrow, Saturday, 3rd of September, is going to be, you're going to want to be right here. Hearthstone, Snoot, and Keen facing off for a spot in the Open quarterfinals. I'm pretty sure this is where you want to be, guys. And again, day after we'll have a bit of Go for SC2 as a warm-up before we go into Wardi Open Group C. Group C is going to be Marine Lord, Nurture, Guru, and Strange, so that's going to be a lot of fun as well. And then Group D will actually take place on Tuesday, and that's going to be, again, a lot of fun too, featuring players such as Violet, DNS, Raynor, and Elazer. So, basically, we've got you covered for the next few days. We'll be streaming every day for... I actually don't know when our next day off is. Maybe when even when WCS is on, I think we have streams sort of planned during the day. I don't think we have a day off until maybe Thursday. It's pretty hectic. It's a pretty hectic week. I mean, maybe there's SGL on Thursday actually, so I don't even know. Anyways, we're just going to be kicking off into this, and we do see a very fast 3CC opening from aLive here. So going back to kind of a build order which we don't see all too often anymore in the Terran versus Zerg. So send him into the fast 3CC here on a map. I mean, if he's going to do this on any map, then this is the map to do it on. It's a great map for going for fast expansions. It's good, it's defensive, and stuff like that. So I'm just going to be setting up. I'm just going to be seeing the... well, again, the early stages of the game. Really nothing too crazy going on just yet. Just setting up into this, waiting to see what's going to be happening, and waiting to see how things are going to go as time passes by. Reaper moving around the map, and from aLive, this is going to be just heading home now as the Zerglin speed kicks in shortly. Doesn't want the Reaper to get caught off guard, or just wants to kind of keep map control with it and just have a look around, and just little things here and there. Hey Wardi, are you Ward the Third? Anyhow, thanks so much for doing what you do. I'm not Ward the Third, I just don't know why there's so many eyes in my name on Twitch. It's probably the biggest regret of my life at this point, it really is. Thank you very much for the kind words though, O_order. Order. Actually, can I just call you Order, is that okay? Or do you really want the underscore in there? Thank you very much for the kind words. So yeah, early on, again, just players playing fairly passively. We'll see a bit of a Widowmine drop coming in from aLive here to kick us off into this game number 1. Again, remember, after this, we're going to have that losers match between Beastie Cutie and Socket. And after that, we're going to be having the decider match as well, which will be between the loser of this and then the winner of that. So still 2 more best of 5s after this series, and to be fair, it's basically 3 best of 5s because we're in a best of 5 right now, game 1, 4.5 minutes in. Doesn't look as though it's going to end soon being on New Gettysburg, so we've got a long way to go this evening, guys. Lots of StarCraft, that's what we like, right? Lots of StarCraft, lots of action for you all. As we do see this medevac just moving around, is going to be coming over here and just flying over a few Zerglings. Plenty more drones being added on though from Elazer, and obviously we just got to see kind of Elazer playing 3 ZVTs and 5 maps of ZVT, so we just saw him playing a lot of ZVT, which means that here again today, right now against aLive, he's just going to be looking to play for something very similar up until this point. So I wonder if aLive was watching. I mean, you can never doubt sometimes the Korean players, they will just watch the streams and just see what their opponent's doing, especially if it's going to potentially be someone they're about to play in the same matchup. I mean, you know, it may not be the most serious tournament in the world, but if they're taking the time to play, they may as well take every advantage they can get. You know, if they didn't want to play, or if they didn't want to play seriously, if they couldn't be bothered, then they wouldn't bother playing. You know, obviously they want to win, otherwise they wouldn't play in the first place. As I said earlier, actually, when we're casting a live soccer, it was actually live. You sort of approached me. I was like, "Hey, dude, I really want to play the Wardi Open. Like, you know, I'd really love to. I've been, you know, watching you cast the Elazer Cup and stuff like this, and I want to play in your cup." And that's why he's here. He was eager to play, so he is one of the 3 Koreans in the Wardi Open. Keen did qualify and qualify 1. Violet also with an invite as well. So, just going to be seeing the Viking just trying to pick up a Overlord kill or 2. He's got 2 so far, so again, I mean, it's already a very effective Viking. One thing this does create as well from aLive later in the game is it just opens up those drop paths as the game goes on, so that'll be interesting here. Gettysburg was Elazer's first map pick. It was also his first map pick against BCQD, although he was the second player to pick a map, so they played Frozen and then New Gettysburg. So this is his map. We'll see if he can win on it once again. Obviously, he did manage to win on it against Beastie. It's actually interesting, Beastie winning the maps he picked in the map order, and Elazer picking the maps he picked in the map order, and of course then Elazer won the map, which it was kind of left over at the very end. I was just going to be seeing, again, I mean, not really too much going on around the map. I mean, a Viking or 2, you know, little trades here and there, but nothing really significant, just players setting up in such a way so that they're very comfortable going into the mid-game, and so on and so on. We see the +1/+1 upgrades going to be finishing shortly from aLive, and we see the +2/+2 melee upgrades coming in from Elazer as well. So, just continue to set up with all of this right now. And Viking is going to come down the left-hand side of the map here from aLive. So Viking from aLive, looking to see what's going on. We're going to see a Queen's injecting a little bit here onto this 4th hatchery. So a little bit of damage being done there. A couple more creep teamers will drop. And what else is going on? SCV pulling back towards the right-hand side. Centrifugal Hooks is going to be finishing shortly. The +2 melee upgrades are definitely not far away. As I see these Zerglings here from Elazer just continuing to push around the map in general. We're going to see Command Center coming down here towards the front, and Zergling's just going to come in and start to work their way through that depot once again. So depot taking a little bit of damage. Lingers and a few Banelings from Elazer coming down to the south side, and again just going to be seeing aLive, just seeing what he can get set up into. +2 melee upgrades still on the way up, and that's something aLive hasn't actually skipped a beat on himself. His +2 melee, +2 attack upgrades came in pretty quickly, so that's important because again, the further is behind, the more timings which Elazer is going to have to utilize in the game. Look how fast this Ultra Cavern is, though. I mean, aLive, obviously, when he opened with the fast 3 CC, he allowed Elazer to be very greedy in the game and just to build into as many drones as he wanted, into the tech that he wanted. But Elazer's been very greedy right now, and the Ultra Cavern halfway done. I wonder if aLive moves out soon. He actually has a huge army supply advantage at this point. Does he actually realize the Hive's already on the way, /done, /Ultra Cavern is almost finished? I don't think he does. If he did, he might be attacking much more aggressively, realizing how greedy Elazer has been so far in map 1 of this best of 5 series. Marines and Marauders coming in, just trying to get a little bit done now, chasing those units back over to the left side. A couple Banes free, and now 4 go down. Just going to be seeing him. Some nice pickoffs there initially, so he is moving across, but not with everything. He's got a lot of Liberators at home. He's actually building more Liberators still. Marines and Marauders added on. He's got tanks set up. He's got a very defensive setup at home. It's basically these units right now. A bit more than he can lift up and just leave with, but more or less, I mean, if any sort of fight happens, he'll get away with the majority of this, as long as he doesn't spend too long engaging rather than picking up. Of course, he might want to engage if he feels it's a good fight, so that's the option for him. Basically, if he gets into a bad fight, he lifts up. If he doesn't, he just fights it out, trades it out until he feels it's better for him to lift up and back away. Marines, Marauders moving around once again from aLive, and now joining everything up together. 2-2 about to finish, so he could go for a little bit of a push here, but it would be risky, and I think aLive is already setting up to just say, you know what, I'm not going to go and be aggressive. I think it's going to be a, I think it's going to be at this point a, I think at this point it's going to be kind of a situation where aLive is just building the game, and we're going to see probably a longer game here, because aLive will sit back, he'll build up his Ghost and Liberator count, and Elazer will try and get damage done and slow the Terran player down and keep the Terran player away from extra bases, because again, the Zerg will have sort of the freedom to some extent, because the Terran army is much more sort of defensive and sitting back on his side of the map, whereas the Zerg army is much more aggressive, a bit faster. You know, he'll take a lot of bases during this, and because his army is going to trade a bit less efficiently, it's important that he keeps the Terran player off of extra bases as well. We saw earlier, Beastie Cutie, for example, took this base here in an attempt to kind of make up for that by having a base which was going to be a little bit more accessible and so on. I was going to see this Overseer going to be moving over. We'll be dropping a Nidus Network in just a few moments' time. So Nidus Network getting ready to come down, and Elazer just going to begin harassing around the map. aLive going to lift up immediately a Medevac unit and start moving into position to deal with this. So he's paying attention to the mini-map. He's not going to be caught off guard himself, and he's going to probably clean this up pretty quickly. I mean, the Nidus is going to pop here and liberate siege up as well, and Elazer realizes this. However, he starts to move forwards at the front. I mean, sometimes we see a big stim back by Terran players to try and go and deal with that sort of attack. In this situation, there's only kind of one Medevac unit, so there's actually good defense by aLive. Really not overcommitting or anything there. Oversteer still around, so we could maybe see this coming in once again soon. I see a little bit of a drop across the map, but the Queens are shutting it down very quickly, and Elazer getting some good damage done against this here. He actually cleans up without taking any damage at all, really, so that's a nice little trade from Elazer, most definitely. We'll see again the Overseer going to drop a changeling and use the changing now to maybe pop the Nidus Network on the other side. aLive paying attention though, still not going to let anything catch him off guard there, and picks off that changeling and kills it off. Look at the row of turrets. aLive basically says, well, this is one of the only places you can realistically in this game kind of Nidus me, so if I can just stop you ever getting here, then that would be great, because then I just don't have to focus about this, you know, don't have to worry about this location any longer. And that would be great for him, of course, if he can just focus on the front and defend this 4th base, what is now a 5th base setting up, then he is again going to set up into this very effective, efficient composition, and he'll be starting to look pretty good. Still no Infestors from Elazer. This is something we talked about him not having in the last series in similar games to this one, and again, I just sort of feel as though the lack of Infestors is, I mean, why not just add on the Infestors, you know? What is there to lose, really, to, you know, for the most part? I feel as though just 2 or 3 Infestors have so much utility. You can get so much done. The turrets do shoot down and Overseer, but not before. And now it does begin to build, so this will force a few units to stim back. Again, just has to make sure it is only a few units and not too much here. Liberator is sieged. What's even in the Nidus? A couple of Ultras and they'll start to pop out, so let's all get something done. They might be able to kill that Ghost Cannon before Cloaking is done, for example. That would not be a bad start, as we're going to see the Lings and the Ultras to the right-hand side. And again, denying these extra bases from Elazer is very important. He is going to kick that one off. No lift there by aLive, as the Ghost Cannon is just going to survive there, so that's a good save. Keeping that Cloaking coming in for the Ghosts. As you see, Elazer just going to position himself over here. More Spores on the way down. Might be getting to that position as well, where Vipers are going to become very useful, especially as we see a lot of Liberators from aLive. Very different playstyle to what Beastie Cutie was doing earlier. Making 5 Liberators at a time. Just setting up into this. We see this Command Center coming down on the right-hand side as well. Queen looking to push forwards too, and just adding on a bunch of tumors. It's going to be a bit of a standoff in this location for some time here. Let's see if Elazer is going to be able to make him enough of it. Elazer will probably try and mine from this top base as well as this gold base here. So again, mine out as much of the map as possible while he has position on the map would be ideal. So setting that up. And as we see, Libra is just going to push a little bit further forwards. Going to siege up on this ramps. A couple of Spore Crawlers going to be coming down as well. A couple of Spores coming down. Liberators will come in actually without the any Liberators unsieged. But you can pick off one there. This is where the Vipers become very useful, because actually with Vipers you could just pull these Liberators forwards. He doesn't have to worry about other units coming forwards either. Ultras are going to commit in. Actually, a lot of the bio units taking a lot of damage straight away. And as the Corruptors continue to trade up in the skies, you're going to see another couple going down in a moment or two. Maybe. There we go. Another one going down there. Liberators still fighting. Still trying to keep on trading. Marauders, tanks are still shelling away on Broodlings and everything. And those Broodlings in the skies doing a little bit as well. Elazer takes a supply lead from this. I mean, the composition which aLive was working with is not a fast to rebuild composition. Even if you can make 5 libs at a time, Ghosts especially don't take, just come out super quickly, and they're fairly expensive too, so aLive has to be careful. I mean, he needs to make sure he has enough to keep on defending. His static defense and just defensive position in general will help with that. But again, just has to be careful with these trades which he's making right now. Zerglings will come around the right-hand side. They're going to run on in towards this base, and again, trying to deny this. He did kill the command center in this location before, as Elazer, he's not wasting much time though. He's already getting in position as though he wants to move forwards here and be aggressive. Some Zerglings to the right side still trading actually, and well, they're not going super great, but they're still killing off a couple of units here and there. You're going to be seeing those Broodlords starting to shell away on this base right now as well. Broodlings dropping on down. The Corruptor's going to move forwards into those Liberators, which move forwards as well just a little bit. Again, I just love to see the Vipers coming in here. Start abducting a couple of Liberators forwards at a time just make it so much easier to kind of fight against this. I mean, a Parasitic Bomb or two might not go amiss either, and even a Blinding Cloud to some extent can be very useful here as we see a big attack to the right-hand side of Zerglings from Elazer. He's doing a lot of damage into that third base as Corruptors and Brutals keep on fighting over here. More Marauders are going down. I'm just going to be seeing these Corruptors coming in again and looking to keep on trading with those Liberators. Liberators continue to fall, and aLive is looking as though he's in a lot of trouble here in game number 1. And he's going to type out GG. Elazer will take the first game, and he'll take the lead in. I'm going to jump in game, and let's do this. So we have, to the upper left-hand side, our yellow Zerg player. It is from True Esports. It's Elazer. And down to the bottom right, our red Terran player. It's going to be from Africa. It's aLive. ZVT Best of 5 Series, game number 2. Here in the Wardi Open. It's 4 AM soon in Korea. Indeed, it is going to be a late one for aLive, especially if he doesn't win here in the winners match. Then things really might start to stretch out for him tonight. So he has to up his game a bit now, because I think he'd rather win now than have to sit through another series of Soccer Beast Cutie playing out and then have to play a best of 5. So it looks like there's a Canadian smiley face right behind Wardi. I don't see it. Are you talking about Mr. Happy? I have a Mr. Happy thing in the room. He's up there because the dog's keep eating him whenever he's put on the sofa. It's like a cushion. Maybe that's what you can see. 1890 views is the record for the Wardi Open at the minute. Really? When the flip did we get 1890 views? When did we get 1900 views for the Wardi Open? That didn't happen, did it? No way. I refuse to believe that. I 100% refuse to believe that. Streamer, rankings, events, filter, Wardi, open. I don't think that's true. Just gonna say, I don't think it is. We've peaked at 2.2k in qualifier 4. That really happened. Oh, but we had multiple streams, yeah, so the peak's about 1.3k, I think, for the Wardi Open in viewership in the past. So we've broken it tonight. We're on 1500, so now it's 1.6k. Anyways, Reaper, talk about the game, Wardi. Let's not bother finding out things that aren't really that important. Let's talk about things that are important, such as what the openings are, for example. What are the openings? Well, from aLive, as you can see down to the bottom left-hand side, he's already added on a second barracks. He's started up a stim upgrade as well, so it's going to be that classic 2-1-1 opening from him. While Elazer, off to the upper left-hand side, is got another Overlord popping out. We're going to see some Zerglings starting to make their way through these rocks to the left-hand side. I'm just going to be seeing this Reaper popping up here and just having a look to see what it can get up to. Queen going to push that Reaper away. And Link Speed going to be finishing very shortly here from Elazer too. So Link Speed about to finish. Starport starts. And a factory starts to build a reactor as well. Very standard build order. Exactly what we expect from aLive. We saw Beastie doing this once, I think, in his series against Elazer. But then he actually didn't go for the reactor. He went for the tech lab. He went for that tank base push. And that was very interesting. It was very different. It's not what you usually see. That was on New Gettysburg, actually, if you think back. So that was interesting. This is going to be much more standard here from aLive, though. So we'll see what he goes for. I mean, generally with this build order, what you aim to do is you sort of begin to drop, and then you keep on dropping as the game goes on and on and on and on and on. 1800 was at the qualifiers? There's not, 100% there was not 1800 viewers. Not on this stream. There was 1800 viewers maybe joined up over the course of all the streams. But just on this stream, definitely not. 100%. I literally just looked at all the statistics. Literally just looked at all of them. Double Evolution Chamber coming down from Elazer as he sets up into this. His scouting has already revealed that there's a second barracks down. So he already knows what's going on here early. He's going to be seeing these Zerglings continue to work their way through those rocks. Still making his way through those rocks right now, and just seeing what he can do. Melee upgrades coming in. Molings will be coming into production, and those will help him to deflect this first 60 Marine drop, which begins to move towards the upper right-hand side right now. So these 60 Marines heading across towards the upper right side. We do see some Zerglings over here from Elazer are going to come in and try and counterattack, but there's a full wall off. Widowmine behind it too. And that Widowmine not going to get a chance to go off. Elazer's just going to pull those Lings back home and use them for his defense perhaps. Or just kind of use them in general. I mean, if they're not going to get through that wall, they've got nothing to do down to the bottom left side. Maybe leave one Ling on the third base. But that's really kind of the most useful they're going to be as Queens. Getting ready to go. It's important here that Elazer fights with both his Queens and his Lings at the same time. It's exactly what he does. You can see here immediately aLive just decides to get away from that. So one Marine goes go down, but that'll be it. He keeps his medivacs alive as well. Actually, the Ling's going to re-engage here. aLive still not losing anything. Lifts up once again. And there's that next medevac coming around. Going to change up the direction of this next drop. Not going to join everything together and just look to kind of continue to push, but going to drop elsewhere and just try and pull his opponent apart a little bit. Again, these Marines unload and another stim. A Reaper Grenade comes in and actually he's going to fight against those Zerglings very nicely, and a lot of those Lings go down. And that's a little bit of a better fight there from aLive. He also cleans out the Watchtower to the left-hand side. Then he'll pull his medevac towards the center of the map. Maybe going to join them all together right now. First of all, we'll see this fourth hatchery. Well, that'll be cancelled, I think. These Marines, so he's starting to move towards the Queens as well. Pulls back with his medevacs initially, and then the Marines will turn and start a fight. And the Queens do have to be cautious today. They don't want to go too far forwards. There's a Widowmine in the back, and he actually targets that onto some of the kind of the bigger packer Zerglings. Zerglings keep on going down, and now the Queens are sort of on their own. More Lings keep coming up in production, but eventually it gets to this stage where the Zerglings are just not really kind of, going to be kind of enough or coming in high enough numbers. The medevac's starting to go down though, and only one medevac remains as he backs away over to the left-hand side. So some Marines going to back away and load on the left-hand side here, and just going to be seeing aLive setting up in this position. Some more Lings going to go across the map, and a few more joined up in the center too. +2/+2 melee upgrades have started from our Zerg, but again, it's a game where aLive isn't too far behind on the upgrades. His own 1-1 about to finish up right now. His armory may be a little bit delayed here. Hopefully he doesn't keep that delayed for too much longer after this. Zerglings will come back to the left, and we'll see those couple medevacs. They'll go up the right. So continue to drop, a very standard way to play out this build order. Just drop and drop and drop, and just keep on seeing what damage you can get done. Elazer again was maybe initially kind of defend well, then up here he did lose a lot of things. And maybe at the fourth base too, but he held on to that fourth base, which is what was important. We'll see now aLive just going to set up on this right-hand side. Maybe a scan to get rid of some creep as he's pulling around, and he actually targets a Baneling or two down there in the main base as well. So just moving around, damage done in multiple locations, and more creep being pushed back. I mean, creep's always a nice thing to pick off because it really just limits the Zerg as to how much they can get done later in the game. A couple overlords will go down here. One creep team remains. Widowmine actually picks up a good few kills there, 12. And that's going to be a good chunk of Zerglings going down, so that's a nice little victory initially. And one Widowmine still left over here as well. Maybe looking to catch off guard any Zerglings which come around that side. And to see what else is, to see if he can just pick anything else off. I mean, one Widowmine left there. It sort of covers the path as well and just gives them some information. Another drop to the left is not going to be too successful, and actually the medevac will go down now also. So, ooh, nice little bit of target fighting there. Gets rid of the Baneling. That allows him to stay in this fight a little bit longer. One more Baneling targeted. We've seen this so much from Terrans lately. I mean, Terran players have been targeting Banelings for so long. I mean, they really have. Target fighting Banelings has been kind of part of a TvZ bio play for a long time. But recently, we've seen it happen so much more than kind of usually. I mean, they all started when Beyond started. Maybe it's just because I notice it more now. I don't know what it is, but it's been seen it happen loads lately, as we're going to be seeing those few Zerglings to the left. They want to take some damage. These few Banelings are going to be cornered, and they're going to go down too. So nice cleanups from aLive around the map, and still feel this one's going pretty well for him. 1k resource lost in his favor. His work count is good. Just has to defend these counterattacks from his opponent, and the Widowmine isn't close enough for long enough. As you can see, a few Marines will stim in though. Bunker's on the way up, and again, looks as though aLive will maintain himself from not taking, will keep himself away from damage, which is exactly what he wants. Marines Marauders join up together, and aLive is going to be pushing forwards right now. I see the stim coming in just as starts having back again. Widowmine! Oh, could have gone off in the middle of everything there, which would have been huge. Instead, just goes off on the edge, but it's still a little bit of a cleanup there as aLive pulls back. His 2-2 upgrades are about to finish now, so upgrades will even out. However, behind all of this, Elazer's continued to set up, and his Ultra Cavern is about to finish. We'll see a Widowmine drop. Well, this will get some damage done. I mean, at this point, there's not really much you can do apart from expect that to happen. The Widowmine drop actually reminds me of when Innovation was playing hot, the Swarm GSL finals, and he came in, was it innovation against Sue, I think. Like, so many Widowmine drops around the map, and he was so good at just continuing to harass in that matchup. That was a really great finals. Just feels as though we haven't really seen innovation in anything this year. It's crazy. Anyways, Marine Stim forwards, they're going to pick off an Overlord. Drone or two going to start going down as well. Zerglings will start to stream in, as these Marines will back away. More Marines and Marauders continue to see what else they can get up to right now. Pushing up this ramp, doing a little bit more damage here. We'll see some more Lings and Banes are over to the right-hand side. And again, aLive just seeing what else he can do. Zerglings moving forwards again. It's a tough spot for him to fight in. He has a drop. Widowmine is actually still over here. Hit the Queen before. Now hit some of those Overlords. We're going to see the rocks going down. It's actually a nice way for aLive to just make the most out of this. He's going to be able to fight against more of those Zerglings just for free, basically. That was actually some very nice target fire. And this hatchery did go down as well, of course. I was going to be seeing this medevac is moving around too. aLive still dropping around the map, but Ultras are about to pop. And we're about to get into that very comfortable late game scenario from Elazer, where he's got Ultras and, well, Kindness plating. And the Liberator count, etc. is low. So this is where sort of Elazer... Actually, he didn't really win the game at this point last time, in the last map. But it's when he started to really be aggressive himself, and he can start to get a little bit done with it. As we're going to see on this map compared to News Gettysburg, there's a lot more possibilities in terms of where you can drop and where you can get damage done throughout. He kills the Ultras Cavern, but it's just a few seconds after Chitinous Plating finishes. A few seconds earlier, and that drop would have been so much more important. I mean, a few Ultras are already out, a few more Ultras on the way. Elazer's not going to mind having to wait until his Ultra Cavern is rebuilt before he has to build more. And actually aLive, he has some units here, but a lot of his units are still in these medevacs flying back home. So this is a little bit awkward now because he just doesn't have as much here as he should. Well, Banens will go up the ramp with these Zerglings, and I mean, when does he start to unload? You know, when does he say, okay, now I'm going to start unloading and let these units kind of come together? Here we go, going to unload now to the left side. They'll start to fight this, but the Ultras just keep on trading so well, and aLive just can't really find a way to keep fighting this. The Liberator covers the third base mineral line, which is something. In fact, these Ultras are a little bit trapped in as Marauders come down the ramp. And those Ultras to the left-hand side had a pretty good time, though. They killed off a lot. 10 kills, 2 kills. I would have been interested to see how many kills the Ultras had over here as well on this side before they went down, but obviously a little bit too slow to figure that out as we see those two Liberators. Marines, Marauders, and Mines are moving out once again. Again, looking to set up and see what they can get up to as Ultras make their way through these rocks. A couple of Liberators will siege up there overhead, and Ultras just going to have to try and back away, but they're getting caught out in the middle of nowhere, and it's another nice pick off from aLive, with some of them low, and well, maybe now the Ultras Cavern pick off is starting to show a little bit, where the rest of the Ultras aren't out yet, when they maybe would have started a bit sooner if that Ultra Cavern had never been killed. So aLive given himself a few moments where he doesn't have to fight against as many Ultras, so maybe again the Ultra Cavern pick off a bit more important than I gave it credit for, as we see the Lane Bane Ultra pushing down this ramp through the Liberators to get there. Queen's going to be left to fight the Liberators too. Widowmine's doing a good job of just softening up the Ultras, allowing the Marines and Marauders to keep on fighting. There's more Ultras from the left though. He'll just jump into the medevacs and come back and probably unload within his liberation zones to just keep himself safe against these Ultras. Or if the Ultras want to run in one at a time, I'm sure aLive will be very happy to take that trade. Stimming forwards here, looking to see what he can do. We're going to be seeing these couple of Ultras coming in, a couple of Corruptors in the skies. We'll take down one medevac here initially. A couple more Ultras continue to fall, and well, Liberators are still sieged up. We're going to be seeing more Queens going down, and I think this is aLive just doing too much damage, and so aLive's map pick of King Sejong Station is going to bring him back in this series. This 5th base falls, and then Elazer at this point, what does he have? He has really just next to nothing. Half the army supply of his opponent and less. You can see those drones coming in over to the right-hand side as we see Liberators just again trying to clean up here and there, and I mean, maybe not many medevacs and not much healing, so this Bioforce very low on health, but again, what is there really up for Elazer right now? A couple Corruptors, some Banes, some Lings, even a low health Bio army is going to be okay against this, and you can see him starting to work his way through the 4th base. The Corruptors will commit forwards. They want to try and get rid of the Liberators here, and here we go. The Lings and Banes will come in too, and all aLive has to do is kite back to some extent right now, as we're going to be seeing him continue to clean up. Corruptors will fall, and this will be GG. Well, actually, the supply of aLive has just plummeted, so he's doing good economic damage, but his actual supply is plummeting. He's down. He was up, what, 60, he was up like 40 army supply? Now it's only kind of 20 or something. It's heating on up. This was Elazer's map pick for the 3rd map. It was the 3rd map between... Was it the 3rd map between him? No, it was the 4th map between him and Base Security. They had cross spawns there as well. It's going to be the same right now. Let's see what the build will be for our Terran player, most importantly, I think, in this game. because it can definitely dictate kind of what sort of game we're going to see. Is it going to be aggressive 2-base? Is it going to be 3-base? Let's find out. The blue town player at the bottom right from Africa is alive. And to the top left-hand side, our yellow Zerg player is going to be Elazer, and this is him from True Esports to the top left. Thank you very much for the kind words in the chat, guys. I saw a few of you being very kind about the casting, Crafty RAF and Tog000. Thank you very much for the kind words, and anyone else who might have said something that maybe I missed. Appreciate it. I'm glad you are enjoying. Don't forget that follow button is just below the stream, and you can keep up to date with whenever I'm live with all sorts of StarCraft. I mean, I'm live pretty much every single day casting. This week is very Wardi open focused. This weekend, at least, I guess. We're going to have the Layfen Cup number 154 kicks off next week from Monday with the qualifier, Tuesday and Wednesday with Groups A and B. We'll probably have an SGL starting up on Thursday and Friday again. And we've got a mixture of WESG qualifiers. We've got a mixture of open events from other tournaments, Go for SC2s. We've got all sorts for you guys. So it's going to be a really, really, really packed. I actually don't even know when the next time we're not going to stream is. We've got stuff planned every day for like 2+ weeks, I think, more or less. So it's going to be a busy couple of weeks. We're going to keep on streaming, keep bringing you guys the action, and keep on enjoying StarCraft together, basically. That's the plan. As we see early in this game, aLive with the Reaper. And once again, look at this fast third command center coming in. I'm intrigued. I mean, fast 3CC, another game here. I mean, it is Frost, it's cross spawns. He can definitely get away with it. He can definitely get away with it, but... Oh, I mean, it's just interesting, right, to see this again. I'm going to see a couple of Hellions. This time it's going to be a bit more of a standard opening of the free CC, where I say standard just because this is what we're used to seeing when we see a free command center play, with the command center coming down, and then you see a couple of Hellions, you'll see a Stim Pack, maybe even a Banshee. But it is actually, no, sorry, I thought that was a starboard, just assumed there. It's actually a second barracks coming down, so... Gonna be Stim Pack and actually just one Hellion here, 2 Hellions here. And then a lift on the factory, and we'll just see, well, some fast Rax production coming into play. I wonder if he actually adds on a starport soon as well, and maybe just go into like a very fast, like bio push with Stim. That'll be interesting. Anyways, drones being added on right now. A few more Zerglings being added as well. Queen about to pop out of this natural expansion. So Queen about to pop over here. We see that Extractor is going to be finishing off to the side, and some drones just going to be jumping on into that. So drones jumping on in now. We see a couple of evolution chambers coming down from Elazer as well. And there's a couple of Hellions, and the Reaper just going to be moving into this left-hand side and just trying to see what he can do. The answer is not a lot. Not a lot. Hellion's just going to back away. He's only got 2 Hellions, so he doesn't want to throw them away for nothing here. Would like to try and keep them alive, keep them healthy. And as we are just going to be seeing those couple of Hellions and the Reaper sitting on this lower watchtower right now. A couple of things are going to go around the left-hand side here. And aLive going into the double engineering bay, looking as though, I mean, he's obviously got the third command center up, so we sort of kind of know from the get-go sort of his game plan for the most part. Just to play a big value play. And as Elazer comes in, you'll see the third command center finished already, so he'll know what builds it isn't. But he'll also get confirmation that with the factory build and reactor, I think he probably already knows, this is going to be Stim Pack, etc. He's going to keep moving that Overlord in, it's going to go down anyway, there's no pneumatized Carapace to get out of there nice and quickly. So we are going to see that Overlord going down to those few Marines. We see the +1/+1 upgrades coming in from aLive right now as well. And Elazer, well, actually, the upgrades are very even from both players, so that's quite nice. And because it's a fast 3CC, the 4th and 5th racks are going to come down nice and quickly as well. Some creepers continue to come down. We see the 4th hatchery as well to the top from Elazer. It's, you know, everything just setting up for the macro game. Lair is on the way. Been in less time to kind of finish up around the same time as the Lair, just so you can sort of start up his Baneling speed as soon as that Lair finishes. It's pretty much it's actually a very common time, and if you don't need the Baneling nest early, to start the Baneling nest up just as the, you know, just a few seconds into the lair, kind of 10 to 15 seconds into the lair production, that's very standard just because you can then line up centrifugal hooks nicely, you know, nicely, neatly. Because of course you don't want to delay centrifugal hooks, but a lot of the time, Banelings have very limited use early in the game before, you know, before we really see the kind of Baneling speed kick in. Especially nowadays, Terrans are so good at all that target firing we talked about a little bit earlier as well. I mean, it's like, you know, attacks like the 2-1-1 stim drop. It's actually not worth making banelings because they just get targeted down. It's just better to have more Zerglings to just attack with and just surround with even more so. So it's kind of funny. I mean, obviously, if your opponent's going to make some mistakes, then sure. But against these top tier Terran players, it oftentimes just isn't worth going into the banelings early on. It's interesting that aLive obviously kind of lost the first game because Elazer saw what he was doing the fast 3CC. He reacted to it by just being very greedy himself, which is sort of happening here, sort of and sort of not. Elazer is actually making a lot of Zerglings rather than just drawing a straight up 70 or 80. But he is already throwing that Infestation Pit down, so he's still looking to hit a fast Hive and a fast Ultra's Cavern. We'll probably see that Ultra Cavern once again kind of dropping down maybe around, I don't know, like the 8:30 minute mark. Something along there. So it's still going to be a fast Ultra's Cavern. It's intriguing that aLive is obviously very comfortable to kind of play against this now again, despite losing with it on New Gettysburg. So we'll see how that kind of turns out. We'll see a few Lings that actually do end up winning that fight. Banes are on the way in too. Another Ling army going to run in towards the natural expansion. There's multiple sets of walls set up here actually for our Terran player, and he will block these Zerglings from getting in. So maybe a good defense from him. The Lings are actually completely stuck right now. They have no idea where they want to go. And the Marines are going to be able to hunt them down. And again, though, Lings back in towards the third base. And something which aLive also has to react to here is, again, just seeing what's going on. It's good good play by both Elazer and aLive. Like, Elazer is still using all of these units and just coming back in whenever he can, when he sees an opportunity. But aLive is deflecting it nicely as well as target fires those two banelings down, and the Zerglings will be quick to follow. So, in the end, aLive cleans all of this up, and he's looking good again, but Elazer's heading to Hive, and this is what happened last time. aLive was like in a really good position, really far ahead in terms of army supply, etc. Really far ahead and really looked as though he had great chances in the game. And then he just waited too long and let Elazer hit Ultralisks and more. So that definitely sort of hurt him a little bit there as we see Marines picking off a Zergling. I'm just going to be seeing this army from aLive moving around as well, looking to see what he can get up to, looking to see where his next kind of attack's going. I mean, does he attack a bit earlier in this game? Maybe he realizes that's what went wrong for him last time. Or maybe that's what he's going to do this time, just trade earlier on. It's not easy cross-spawn for us though. It's not an easy map to rally across. It's not an easy map to, well, do much on at all apart from sort of play longer games, I guess. Here's the positions, of course, cross spawns that the Zerg would like to play into because it generally does lead to the longer games. It's hard to take a fourth base outside of the top left side, and in vertical and horizontal spawns, it actually is hard to just take a fourth base. So it's interesting. Spider comes down before the Ultra Cavern, so again set up ready to go into some Corruptors nice and quickly. Once again, we saw this out of Elazer in an earlier map today against Beastie Cutie. I still just feel though aLive is actually going to hit 2-2 upgrades, and I think he's going to hit 2-2 in attack, and I actually don't know if Elazer is going to hold this off because he's going to have 2-2, he's going to be moving forwards, and he just has such a huge army supply lead. Marines will stim, here we go. I mean, he starts to split away. Widowmines don't really do enough initially. I mean, see, there's some Zerglings coming in from the back, but you can just see how much Terran's left over right now. With the upgrades being even, the Terran player just has so much. Ultra's Cavern still isn't done. We're talking about such a huge, I mean, about a minute still until Ultras are really in the game. I mean, it's just not going to happen. And this time, aLive has the perfect response. This is what he should have done on New Gettysburg, realizing this time what his mistake was then. He fixed it while going for the same build order again. And he's going to make this happen. He's just going to hit the very, very strong timing as Elazer tries to be very greedy. Just heading up into super fast ultras, etc. off of Fleeing Bane and lots of drones. And he's just not going to have enough to defend this as aLive continues to move around with these Marines. Marauders continuing to clean on up. And Elazer's just going to tap out of the game. Not even a GG. Wow. It's not very Elazer-esque. As aLive is going to introduce our players to the bottom right-hand side. It's going to be the yellow Zerg player who is... Well, he took map 1 and then... Well, just lost out on map 2 and map 3. Can he pull it back? Can he make this work? It is to the bottom right-hand side. Elazer from True Esports. And in the upper left-hand side, it's going to be the red Terran player representing Afrika. It's aLive. So setting up into this fourth game. aLive going to open with a gas first. And so a gas first can lead to free Rex Reaper, can lead to a gas first Reaper expansion. Either or. So everything is possible right here. And it's all eyes on aLive, the man who will be determining what this opening will be. You can already see here Elazer early. Gas pool is immediately a little bit of a blind counter to an early free Rex Reaper play. It's a good way for him to shut that down and just sort of slow it down. Slow down some of the initial momentum that free Rex Reaper usually has. So that's a good way for him to slow this a bit. as he sets on up. So Rack's coming in here. No second Rex just yet, though, and so it looks as though it is just going to be Gas First Reaper Expand. Will be a factory-based follow-up. I wonder what he goes for then. I wonder if he goes like Widowmine drop into a... I wonder if he goes for like a Widowmine drop into a Tankovac play. I wonder if... I mean, we haven't actually seen that from him yet today. We saw the Widowmine drop on New Gettysburg, right? And then he went for... obviously, it was free CC, so he didn't Tankovac follow-up. So maybe that's something we see now. Let's see what's going to happen. We set up into this game, guys. And game 4 of the series. It's great. I mean, great to see kind of not just kind of free O's and so on, and good mixture of results as well. Obviously, that Elazer Beastie Cutie series going to all 5 games is pretty nice. That was pretty awesome. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Wardi changes rune serve. What's up, Docs? The Void, how are you doing? I changed my, I just moved my table around. The wall you usually see me sitting next to. My desk is like along that wall now, so I'm facing the wall. Which is cool. I actually love it. As soon as I did it, I like looked at it, I was like, this is incredible. It's amazing. So that's pretty cool. Anyways. Pool first play is actually going to catch maybe aLive a little bit off guard here. Doesn't have anything back at home just yet to defend. Only 2 Zerglings though, so I mean, the command center will survive. I'm just going to see this Reaper will come in and we'll end up cleaning out the Zerglings. The Zerglings will not kill an SCV. Well, they shouldn't. There we go. Keeps it alive. So it doesn't kill an SCV there, which is again expected. He just delays the command center a little bit. That's more or less all you're hoping for. You see Link Speed about 10 seconds away from completion. Pneumatized Carapace going to be invested into this time from Elazer. An intriguing change-up here on Frozen Temple. Arguably an easier map to scout on than, say, Frost or something. And yet he is still going to invest into the Pneumatized Carapace this time around. Hellion is just going to push away a Zergling there for a moment or two. 2 Hellions being made at a time out of that reactor. Didn't reacted out a couple of Marines at first, apparently, just in case he needed extra help, maybe defending against more Lings coming across. And I was just going to see the Hellion just come and pull back towards the upper left side. A couple more Hellions about to come out, and it's actually going to be a Hellbat attack coming in from aLive. So actually, maybe this Pneumatized Carapace upgrade is going to be a worthwhile investment anyway, although he doesn't go far enough in to really see this. I wonder if Eliz just thinks of it as a possibility anyways. As we see that Overlord just going to be pushed away to the right-hand side once again. So Overlord gets pushed away to the right-hand side. A few Marines will join up together. Medevac about to pop out from aLive too. And we'll just load up those Marines and... well, the Hellbat attack's getting set up, ready to go, and right now, Elazer has a Spinecrawler building, but only Zerglings to kind of deal with this. You know, he doesn't have any Baneling Nest or anything, or Roaches, just Queens and Lings. So how much is he going to get done here? A few Lings will look to counterattack, and that could get a lot done, although more Hellions being made. It depends when the Zerglings run in. Gonna run in now, Hellions are about halfway done, it shouldn't be too much damage taken. One SCV getting caught already. As we see the Hellbats across the map, though, the Spinecrawler going to get cancelled. And we're going to see, well, this Hellbat attack is pushing on forwards. And again, there's just Zerglings to come in with this, but there's just so many Hellbats. And with the healing as well, it's going to be very difficult. He's trying to find a way where he can actually fight against the Queens a little bit more easily. As we see the Lings coming around the back, pulling up 1 or 2 of the Marines. In fact, I don't think a Marine went down. Has anything been lost yet? 1 Marine, 1 Hellbat. There's 22 Lings. Obviously, a few SCVs across the map went down, but more Hellions coming out will clean up that attack. As those drones are stacked up now, and they're going to take a lot of damage. As a live switch up here in this game is just going to work so well for him. And he just has so many units left over now that even without a medevac to heal these units up, he just has plenty to kind of keep on going with. I mean, these Lings come in. There's just so many Hellbats, they just get burnt to a crisp before they can clean up. And, well, I mean, he might just about clean up here, but we're still talking about a few Marines, a couple of Hellbats. And we're talking about 15 workers killed. 31 SCVs to the 23 drones. More Hellions still being made. They're going to run in towards the third base now. Actually, as they morph into Hellbats, a Queen run away from 2 Hellbats in the main. Hellbats are looking to catch it as it turns the corner. And, I mean, Hellbat's still just doing more and more damage. It's Queen at the third base. I mean, Elazer has to keep running that round as well. That's something he has to keep paying attention to. Another drone falls. Another Queen pops. Hellbat's just continuing to apply pressure. And as the Queens go down as well, especially, the Liberator follow-up is going to be so powerful. This is not a game where Elazer's like, you know what, I'm going to make a safety Spore Crawler. No, when he's behind like this, the last thing he's going to do is make a safety Spore Crawler. He's probably not even thinking about the Liberator follow-up. He's just probably frustrated with how much damage he's already taken. As the Liberator comes in, it's just going to be more damage onto the natural expansion. There's no way Elazer deals with this anytime soon. So many drones get picked off here. That's a 5-kill Liberator. And 5 kills on top of what he's already done. is just absolutely crazy. Just going to be seeing the Lings continue to move around here. aLive just taking a bit more damage. Tries to get it into a corner and hellbat it up, and that sort of works. I think at this point aLive just needs to go for any sort of follow-up, and he was going to be in a fairly good place. Actually, to be fair, I mean, so much damage done, but the worker count's only 5 worker lead for aLive. I mean, that's nice. It's definitely a lead. But, you know, it's redeemable from Elazer. So it's not over just yet. 5 racks follow-up is going to be a very aggressive follow-up. With an aggressive follow-up like this, maybe it will be too difficult for Elazer to sort of hold on against it. Let's see how it goes. We're going to be seeing the Liberator just sat over to the far right side right now. Drone's continuing to mine away over on the third base. And, again, the Hellbat attack was good. I mean, it was just a well-picked build here, and it's definitely put aLive in an advantage as he gets set up to go for the 2-base follow-up to just close things out at the end of this now. Marines joining up together just outside the front. We're going to see a tank getting lifted. I'm just going to be seeing Liberator here just starting to work his way against this Overlord. So Overlord's starting to take a little bit of damage. I'm just going to be seeing Marines, Hellbat, a couple of medevacs in the skies. Continue to move down through the center, and that's actually maybe a much faster push than I was initially expecting, and maybe Elazer too. I mean, he already has stim though, so he can push early, and he just probably knows that, hey, I did enough damage, may as well keep forcing him to make units rather than setting up comfortably into a drone count. He kills the Bane nest that's building there, and Elazer is going to have to go to the decider match, it will seem, if he wants to move into the quarterfinals. aLive is going to be our first player into the quarterfinals here today. He drops one map, looked a little bit shaky against Elazer in game number 1, but really upped his game in games 2, 3, and 4. Elazer taps out, and aLive is going to take this 3 games to 1, and he is going to go